All right, all right. Welcome to another exciting episode of The Real Deal, July 15th on a Saturday. Let's get it. Once again, welcome to episode 123. We are live here in Philadelphia, July 15th. Glad to be back with another Saturday episode. I am your host, as always, the one and only Courtney Harden. It is The Real Deal. Again, episode 123. This is football season is among us. Training camps start. Teams will be reporting within the next week or two. So it's only right. Fantasy football is here, and we've been having some drafts and all those things. So I hope everyone is enjoying this weekend. You can follow The Real Deal on all podcasts and social media platforms. You can follow it, The Real Deal with Courtney Harden on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Also, you can follow the show on BS3 TV Live. We're live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, the BS3 Network YouTube channel, BS3TVLive.com. We're also live on Roku. Download the Roku app. You can get all the shows there. BS3 Network, BS3TVNetwork.com, the Roku channel, BS3TVLive.com as well. We're all over the place. Anchor, Google Play, Spotify, Apple, anywhere you get shows, things like that. We're there as well. But I have a very special guest. Like I said, the theme of this show today is fantasy football. We're going to do some fantasy football chat. Met this guest here on Twitter just maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago. We're part of the Scott Fish Bowl. That's a whole fantasy football. It's a huge entire network. It's for charity. So, I mean, it has all the best, all the people that like to play fantasy football, all doing drafts this week. It's exciting. Toys for Tots. So if you want to donate, please do so. Scott Fish Bowl is it. But I am going to introduce my guest here. Her name is Tracy Gilroy-Norton, owner of Norton's Art Pet Care, also host of the Gridiron Gal podcast, fantasy football. She does a little bit of everything. So, Tracy, welcome to the show. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. If the dogs bark in the background, I apologize.
All good. Yes, it's a
the
podcast.
The mailman should be here any moment. So yeah.
Yes, it's a podcast, so anything can happen in a podcast. Right. But I appreciate you. I mean, we just started following each other like over the past week, and I said I want to get you on the show because it says Scott Fish Bowl. We're both into it. Yeah, we're into that. We're drafting now. Fantasy football. So again, thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. It's my first one. I'm thrilled.
Yeah.
I had like no followers like 2 months ago. And it's unreal. It's
yeah. So like I said, I did an invite. We followed each other, did an invite. I like what you were doing. Like you said, you have your own podcast. But before we get into all that, talk a little bit about yourself, how you got into football first and foremost, and just a little bit about yourself.
Well, I was born in Northern Ireland, so I grew up there. I do have an accent, but when I moved here, I got made fun of so badly. So I have this, I call it my fake accent. And sorry, I'm trying to get used to looking at the camera and not at you on my screen. So it's new. So I moved here. My dad, huge football fan, and I never really got into it. I didn't understand it, but I always played it with like the boys. I was always one of the boys. And for years, I guess probably 10 years, I didn't follow football at all. And once the pandemic hit again, I started kind of getting back into it, and I found that it was very easy to understand if you actually took 5 minutes to learn the game. Yeah. And then I stumbled upon the fantasy world just scrolling through Twitter. I was like, let me give this a shot, and realized that it was one, a lot of fun, and two, I was really good at it. And from then on, it was red zone every Sunday. My kids
Yeah.
know my kids do not like football. They do not like it at all. So Sundays they hate during football season because I'm like, Scott Hansen is on TV. I love Scott. I love. So I was like, please don't talk. Football is on. It's 8 hours, and then there's a night game. So you have me at half times and commercials. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I love that. That's that. I love that story because it's I think said it's always a great story with how people get into football, how they get into fantasy football, and with fantasy football, the way the community is with fantasy.
Oh my goodness, that's the greatest part.
Yeah, that's a real good part.
The people. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I do love beating the boys because then they find out that I'm a girl, and it's like losing twice.
Yeah, right.
Which is to me is great. I absolutely love it. But the community is the best part. Even just the people in the Scott Fish Bowl. I mean, we've only known each other, like you said, for a week or so, and everyone. I have people that I'm talking to until like 3 o'clock in the morning about football. It's great.
Yeah.
So I've got so many new friends and people supporting me and just giving me encouraging words, and I kind of wish I had found it years ago.
Yeah, I know. I agree. I
Right?
mean, it's exciting. I've been playing fantasy football for a long time. I mean, I've been playing it since, the late '90s.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's changed so much because there's so much access to more stats.
Oh, I
like
can't
that
even
from when I,
imagine too.
from
Well, and
when
the
I was
rules of the game have changed so
yeah.
much,
So yep.
frustratingly.
Yeah, so it's always adapting to the changes,
Yep.
but it's grown so much since even then when fantasy football actually started in the '90s until what it is today. There's so many, like I said, there's so many shows and everyone,
Oh,
podcasts
everywhere you look.
everywhere. So much
Yep.
data, and then back then you could do the stats you could only get from like newspapers. From there, you didn't even have
Right?
like if the internet was just blowing up.
Oh,
At that
and
time.
that was useless anyway. when
Yeah,
it first came
right.
out,
Yeah. So you had to wait till like after Monday night, after the Monday night football game, look
Yep.
at the stats to see, okay, where am I in the standings from there. So yeah, it's grown
Whereas
so much.
now we can find out if they stubbed their toe in the locker room before
Yes,
the game.
right. Yeah, there's so
Yeah,
much data
it's
now.
wild.
Sometimes I
But
think it's too
sometimes
much.
I think we have too much data.
Yes, I was
But
gonna say the same thing. Yep,
yeah.
too much data. There's too
But I
much
think that's where you find the people that actually know fantasy football versus
Yeah.
the people that just, don't even get me started about the people that just go on and draft from the top of the list based on ADP.
Yeah, right. The casuals. Yeah. You have the
Oh, I can't
casual
do it.
fans. You have the casual fans. You have fans like us who had played it for, a long time or just getting into it, but really enjoy doing it and drafting. And
I have more
everything.
drafts from before the actual rookies got drafted than
Right.
I do,
Yeah.
because I listened to all the podcasts and I had
Yeah.
everybody ready and my sleepers and all that. And, it does make a huge difference. I think it's still fun, but it's more like not a job, because I don't want to say a job, but
Yeah.
I take looking at stats. It's something that you do on a daily basis. You go on and you just do your research.
Yeah, do your own research. And like I said,
Yeah.
everybody has their own research, their own research patterns, their
Yep.
their trends and everything. Because I start, like I said, I start early when football season ends. I take that little break, and I know some people do the same thing.
Yeah.
But then you have then you do, like I said, okay, when do I start? So when I'm in a podcast league, the Real Deal Podcast League with some of the podcasters. We've been doing this will be the third year now coming up. We got a draft coming in August. He gives that, they give up that that reminder. Oh yeah, here's fantasy football. When we want to set a date, like, oh yes, time to start researching. So around like June, right after the draft, April. That's
oh man, you're that late? Oh, I'm way earlier than that.
You're earlier than that. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I think it was like 2 months before the actual draft that I was
you go right
already,
after the Super Bowl, kind of.
And I have my notebook out. I mean, yeah, there's only like 2 weeks in between where I don't start looking at football stuff.
Right.
Because then because I go to basketball and that'll kind of tide me over, and then I get bored.
Okay.
And then, I'm like, all right, well, I may as well start looking at football stats again, because baseball just no, doesn't
Yeah,
do it for me.
I usually, like I said, 'cause I'm a huge basketball fan, so I watch the NBA.
Yep.
I go right into, I mean, literally right into that. Even though I watch it
Me too.
from the beginning, but then when football ends, NBA finals, and then I like the WNBA too, so I start watching that. But football is usually, like I said, usually around May before Memorial Day. That's when I start to after
Hmm.
the draft. I mean, I do my draft prep and all that, then I get into
Right, right.
back into it. So yeah, but like I said, everyone has their different how they research. And so what do you do for like your research? I don't give all your tips up because like I said, you're in drafts.
Honestly, it's not. I don't even have that many tips because I go with my gut on a lot of stuff,
Right.
and I always kind of feel like I need to change it up because I do depend on my gut a lot, but it's still going. I mean, it's taken me this far, so I don't want to switch up what I'm doing. But I mean, I do the typical. I look, I'll go on ESPN, but then I'll go down Colleen Wolf's Twitter because she'll have different articles that'll point me to different people, and then you have your certain people in certain cities that you kind of depend on more for sports writing.
Right.
So I'll look at those. I'll go on LinkedIn and I'll look because there's also different articles on there that people post. And then you just basically, if I see a name that kind of sticks out and I get a feeling about, I'll put it in my notebook. And then every week or two, I'll kind of do the same. Just I'll check on them first to see how they're doing. If they're falling kind of down the list, then I check on everybody as far as rookies go, but I always have my top 5 because you can't physically check on everybody. It would take you forever.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
And then obviously staying on top of injuries and the reports on how everybody's injuries or surgeries are going, because that's also a massive part, coming up on whether or not they're going to miss a game or miss 2 or get suspended for being an idiot and gambling in their own locker room.
Yeah, that's a big thing too. I know it's always got to stay on top of the news, and you're right.
Yep.
Like that's what I usually do too. Research it like magazines or the websites. Differently on like mock drafts.
I'm not a mock drafter. No.
Okay, you just go right into it
because my thing is in a mock draft, if let's say you get like the perfect draft, you just watch it, do nothing. It's so frustrating. I'd rather spend $1 on a draft with 6 other people and know that at least if I get a good draft, I'm going to make some money off of it. It's gonna be worthwhile. So yeah, I have never done a mock draft. They are like the cell phone towers that they try to make look like I hate those things. Mock drafts are right up there with those.
That's funny. I like that.
Hands down.
So you're right. Like I said, everyone does their own
some people love them. So
people do love
to each their own.
They'll have like their boards and their mock draft boards, and then what they're looking, the check marking, the highlighting, and all those things. So I listen to a lot of podcasts. I do that, and so everybody. I love to like to hear a lot of people's research of how they do different things, how they prep for their drafts and things like that. So we talked about Scott Fishbowl. Is this your first year at Scott Fishbowl?
It is. I didn't even know about it 3 months ago. I had no clue it even existed. And then it came on my radar somehow. I think I saw it in an article. And I said, that would be really cool, And I said, well, let me start kind of feeling upon it this year so that maybe next year my name will be out there and I'll get into it. And I did because he had contests almost every day, and they were fun. That was the best part. He makes them fun. It was something you wanted to do. It wasn't like fill this questionnaire out or retweet this or he made you go out into the world and actually contribute something, which is what he's all about, obviously. And I randomly opened my email and it said that I was invited, and I kind of looked around the room almost like I was being punked because I said, there's no way. It's been a month of me hardcore trying to get into this thing. And lo and behold, I was invited. So it was so exciting. I mean, I was jumping up and down like a little child. It was like
Yeah.
Christmas morning.
Yeah, you
I
get
was so
that
excited.
email. You get that email from him. And just for
Hmm.
those that don't know, the Scott Fishbowl, this is his 13th season doing this, and this is my second year. I did it last year, and I was excited to finally get on. I did the contest, and so this year I got the invite because I participated in last year's.
Right.
Didn't do as well, but it's all
Right.
about, because it's for charity. It's it's just to get
Exactly.
the community, as we talked about, and it's I said Toys for Tots. That's a different one, but this is for Fantasy Cares. That's what it is. So Scott Fishbowl, for those that don't know, it's the world's most famous fantasy football tournament with nearly every analyst and fan in the fantasy industry, athletes, actors, musicians, celebrities, fans of fantasy football, playing in the spirit of charity and just doing well. That's the nature of it. ScottFishbowl.com. You can donate to Fantasy Cares. Together as a community, we could do a lot of good with the hobby of ours, and it's huge.
Huge.
It's a huge thing. It says, I'll just read over 59 million people, a number of people who play fantasy sports yearly. That's fantasy sports, not just football.
Wow.
So, and $100,000, the amount we hope to raise with Fantasy Cares this year. And they have a pot-a-thon. They do that for 36 hours where they bring in all these fantasy analysts, and they just kind of like it's on YouTube. Cool. You could listen. It has a lot of different people.
I love that too. That you can follow, like you can even follow along in our draft if you go on Spike Week,
live drafts, everything.
Which is crazy. Can I just say, I kind of went a little nuts when you can go on Spike Week and search your name and your name comes up. I was like, this is a little nuts. Like,
it's cool.
I showed my kids and they were equally as excited, which made me even more excited.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Scott Fish and everyone who participates and donates and all those, because just like I said, you got live drafts.
The AVI guys.
Yes. Oh, everybody. Yeah.
Brilliant.
You got so much. So many people that are just coming together, as you said. Mm-hmm. It's just good for a good cause and everything too. And they have playoffs. We're doing our slow draft now. Our draft is real slow because people are signed up, and it's like nobody. Like, there's a few people who are engaging, but it's just so much fun. It's like,
oh man, ours is off the. Yeah. They're crazy. I feel the pressure. Well, we're already trash talking. I love it.
Yeah,
I love my group of guys, but we flew through it. We're almost done. As soon as it comes up, they're like on the clock. And then, I'm sitting there and I'm the slow one because I take my time, and their names come up and it's like picked. I'm like, oh Jesus, it's coming back to me.
Time to go back to it. You got to look at what's going on. You're like, oh yes.
Well, because what I do is I honestly, I just wait. I pick my queue. I have everyone in my queue, obviously, but then I wait until it comes back around because you don't know who's going to get picked.
Yeah.
So you can't predict your team. So then I start, and I take a look at everyone that's left and go from there.
Yeah.
So they're always telling me, you're fine, take your time, but they pick so quickly.
Yeah. Ours,
I feel bad holding them up.
Ours is so slow. We've had a couple people timed out already. It's almost like they didn't set their thing. So our draft's probably going to last another couple of weeks because we're on the 10th round now, I think. But we could get through this week. Yeah, we're just moving so slow. I'm always, because you get the alerts on your email if you sign up during that way. If not, we have a chat too. If the one person says you're on the clock, clock. You got 6-7 hours to pick. So, but I know people have busy lives, but it's like.
But go to the bathroom, man.
Yeah. Right.
You're on your phone in the bathroom. We all know you are.
Set up like you said. Set up your lineup who you want, and it'll just automatically pick for you. So I don't.
Yeah. Because then you hold everyone else up. And if, like you said, if there's 2 or 3 people that do that and they time out or they do it the last 15 minutes. It's so frustrating.
It is. So I'm just looking now. Someone said we're gonna have another auto pick, and then they're gonna auto pick.
Oh, no.
And so then it's like, okay, well,
it
just messes everything up. But
exactly, yeah.
So, but it's been good. I'm enjoying. I enjoyed last season. I'm enjoying this season. Just fantasy football in general. So it's it's great to have that. So, and you have your own podcast too. Talk about that, the Gridiron Gal podcast. Talk about a
Yes.
little bit
Well,
about that.
I had an entire episode that I was so proud of. The first one, had it all set, had it all edited. I was going to just throw in an interview, and I went back because I didn't do it on this platform, and the entire thing was gone. I couldn't even look at it. But then, so real quick, oh my gosh, I need my water, but I can't find it. I'm also in, I think, I don't know if you're in it too, the Battle of the Sexes.
No, but I heard about it. You remember you were promoting it too.
Like
Yep.
Scott Fish is promoting that as well.
Yeah.
And so I'm in that, and we may actually do a podcast on that. I was going to do it separately and then just, do one just on that myself and kind of switch over, so touch upon both. But now one of the people that's in the Battle of the Sexes said, well, maybe we could just make a separate podcast from that. So I think we're going to do one separately, and then mine will focus on the Scott Fish Bowl mainly, just because I figure people want to hear kind of the back door, what it's actually like, because I would have no idea, and then it's going to be family and fur babies and kind of everything thrown in, because I can't not talk about that side as well. So just I'll probably hope to have guests on, and we can talk football and strategy and just keep it light, not fact heavy and stats. And I feel like I get bored. I don't want to hear stats over and over, because you can only say it so many different ways.
Yes.
You can only talk about top 5 running backs so many different ways. So I figure throw other things in there and we'll keep it interesting,
Yeah, looking forward to it. And I remember you were talking about, like you said, launching it and getting it there. So it's like, let's do it. So that's cool. I like that. So
yeah, it should be fun.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to what you got coming up and everything too. So let's get into a little bit of football before I let you go. Like I said, this half hour flew by real fast, right? So let's talk a little football. You're a Chiefs fan. I'm an Eagles fan. I'm an Eagles fan. So the Chiefs beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl. I'm still bitter about that a little bit, but I'm moving forward. I'm moving on and everything, because it was a great Super Bowl. I mean, one of the best Super Bowls in a long time, and so close and everything too. And I'm still proud of how the Eagles performed and everything too, even though the results at the end wasn't what I thought it was going to be. But the Chiefs again proved Patrick Mahomes is the best player in football. That's just facts. I mean, there's no opinion. That's a fact.
Yes. People that hate on him just hate on him because he's good.
Yeah, he's just that good. It. He's that good. I think it's him, and it's not even close. So I can admit that. I'm a huge Eagles fan. I'm still objective. Can be objective.
Right.
He's the best player. He's the best player in the league. He's been the best player in the league for a while. So, and he proved it again. But the Chiefs went ahead and won the Super Bowl. What'd you think? Just recap real quick of their season, winning the Super Bowl, and now moving forward
season. The season started out, and I was like, guys, what are you doing? Like I said, the first couple of weeks is always iffy. Yeah. But the first couple of weeks for them, I was expecting them to come out of the gate, ready, and they faltered a little bit. I mean, I knew they'd pick it up, but I was like, come on, guys, let's get it together. Yeah. The team was great. I'm kind of sad to see some of the guys leave, but I think that you can't go wrong with Kelsey and Mahomes. Like, you just can't. You really don't need anybody else, But I think we're going to come out. We're going to do the same thing that we did last year. The only difference is every other team in the league was smart, and they strengthened where they needed to strengthen this year, as opposed to last year, where I think they kind of people that didn't need quarterbacks picked up quarterbacks and worked on their defense. It had a good defense, didn't make sense. But this year, like the Lions, my team is going to give me such crap because I picked so many Lions in my draft. The Lions are coming in strong, and so I think it's not going to be as easy as everyone's expecting it to be for them. I definitely think the Bengals are going to give them a run for their money too. So I just hope that the boys don't come out kind of, the rookies coming out. Well, I'm on the team that won. I'm on the team with the best quarterback. It's already in the bag. You know, you still
Yeah.
got a lot of work to do because
Right.
there's quite a few guys that have come on that aren't familiar to everyone else. So you still have to rework the glue. You still have to figure out who goes where and your best routes and make sure that the little guys know the playbook, how they're supposed to know it. And they're not
Yeah.
going to Zach Wilson it,
Yeah. Right.
That's
Right.
my adjective for when you screw something up.
Did the Zach Wilson.
He Zach Wilson it.
Yes.
That
Yes.
poor kid.
Oh, I know. I mean, now Aaron Rodgers is over there. It's like you're not gonna get any
He
play.
wasn't going to get anything anyway.
No,
Come
right?
on.
Yeah,
He
not at
was a
all.
little boy among men. Like he walked on that field and he looked like a little boy that was scared
Mhm.
every time.
Yep. Yeah.
Every
Every
time.
time. Every single time. Every single time. And then that's the thing is, you'll go back to your Chiefs. You said there was all that chatter about losing Tyreek Hill. How was
Right.
the offense going to look? And it
Right.
took a little bit, but you still had Patrick Mahomes, and I think they took. That's the thing. They took that literally. They took that like, okay, dude, you guys are thinking we're just very disrespectful. Okay,
Exactly.
let's take
Yep.
it up a notch, and that opened up Kelsey even more.
But
And
see, I
then,
think that's the difference in people like Mahomes. His attitude, he's like a Tom Brady. Everything is positive. Everything is let's better the team. So
Mhm.
if you come out and you say, well, they can't do it because they lost, Tyreek or whoever, it
Yeah,
doesn't matter who it is. He's going to say, well, no, I'm going to prove you wrong, but I'm going to do it in a way that, it pushes everybody to be better. I get my team to be better, and we're just going to come out. We're going to kill it, and
yeah,
and you can't say anything about it because
yeah.
they did it right.
They did it. They did
They
it.
did
Like
it.
they still remained at the top team in
Yep.
the, especially definitely in the AFC, and they still have Andy Reid as coach.
Oh,
Uh,
love him. God,
yeah. So Andy
love
Reid,
him.
yes, losing Eric Bieniemy as the offensive coordinator, yes, that could
Right.
hurt,
Absolutely, yes.
but you still have Andy Reid, and he
And
calls
your core
plays.
group of guys,
The corporate
if
guys,
you
yes,
didn't have,
exactly.
I think if you only had a few and you lost, you know, uh, that big chunk, and you have someone new coming in that's trying to then coach a bunch of new guys and
Yeah.
and get everything set. Your core group is there. They already know what they're doing.
Yep.
They don't need to be told.
No.
They're going to
No.
go out and do what they were doing last year.
Mhm.
He's just kind of coming along for the ride, no offense. But I mean, obviously, he's going to have a lot to offer. But with Andy Reid and Mahomes and Kelsey and the boys, you're good. They already know what they need to
Yeah,
do.
we expect them to be right there right at
Yep.
the top again. As you said, yes, you got the Bengals, you got the Bills. Not sure what the Jets are going to do with Aaron
I think they're going to do
Rodgers.
well.
Yeah, so I
I mean,
mean,
I'd
but
love to see them in the playoffs,
hmm
but
hmm
that's being very hopeful. I
right,
mean, they won less than 5 games last year, so let's
yeah,
not go crazy, guys.
yeah,
And of
right.
course, they had to win. We can't talk about that because that makes me so angry. Oh
So
gosh,
yeah, so you're going to have like there's teams, like I said, Bengals, Bills. uh, You said the Jets, like they're going to be in the mix, of
right?
course. Baltimore, if Lamar Jackson stays healthy, he's got his
Yep, yep.
contract now. So that's just the AFC. I think that's the top of the
Don't
AFC.
discount my Lions, man. Come
The
on.
Lions. Oh, of course. So I was just talking AFC. So you go to NFC. I think my Eagles are still the top team.
Yeah, absolutely. Eagles, yeah.
Yeah,
Eagles are going to
49ers.
sweep everybody.
Yeah, 49ers. The Lions should be much improved. I mean, they got all the
Yeah.
pieces, so we'll see if
I
they
don't
can.
think they're going to go, as far as they think they're going to go. God
Mhm,
love them, but if I love me some Dan Campbell. If that man
mhm.
could talk to me every morning, I mean, I don't even know what I could do.
Right, right.
Because that first episode of Hard Knocks, when I'm having a rough day, I just bring it up on YouTube because I have a Dan Campbell shirt too. Yeah. But yeah, Eagles, they're gonna take it. We all know.
Yeah,
We all know.
could be another Eagles Chiefs Super Bowl. So we'll see.
Could be. I
What
think it's going
happens
to be
there.
Bengals, but
Okay. Yeah.
it could be. I'm
Yeah.
predicting Bengals.
Okay. Yeah.
I think.
There's Cincinnati's with Joe Burrow. Yeah. Of course, they're going to be definitely in the mix too. So looking forward to see this season. So it's starting. The players are training camps next week.
Yep.
Reporting, and then after that it's preseason and then the regular season. Here we go again. They
End
said
of August.
40
So
something days now before the season start, 45 days or something
I
like
think,
that.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so
46 maybe.
46 days. Yeah, can't
Oh
believe it.
man, I can't wait. It's like
So,
Christmas. It's like
Sundays,
Christmas.
Sundays and Mondays. Here we go. Sunday, Monday.
That Monday Night Football song. Oh, it gets me
Yeah.
pumped.
Oh,
That was
every
my
time.
alarm for the draft.
Yes.
When the draft started, that's what went off, the Monday Night Football song.
Sunday Night Football.
So I was like, let's go.
Yes.
Well, can't wait.
Cannot wait. Well, Tracy, it's been a pleasure having you on the show.
I hope I did you justice.
You did. You definitely did. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the follow. Thanks for coming on. Let everyone know where they can follow you on social media, your podcast. I know you said you're gonna start the podcast. You're gonna probably do StreamYard so you won't lose it because once you end the podcast, if they brought the podcast on StreamYard, you can save it immediately. So that's well. But let everyone know they can follow you on social media.
So mainly everything is TRAYZZR2. That's like Twitter, Instagram, but mainly I'm on Twitter for all my football stuff. And it'll be StreamYard. It'll be the Gridiron Gal podcast. But check out Twitter just because I'm going to have the first episode up within the next, I'd say 3 days or so, just because I want to make sure it's perfect. I overthink way too many things. But feel free to shoot me a message. I will absolutely reach out. And if you need any tips on your fantasy team or, any questions, I will be more than happy to answer. Just find me. You'll find me somewhere.
Yeah, fine. Yes, like I said, Twitter. You're very active on Twitter. So
yeah, that's my main. It's the easiest place to find me is Twitter.
Right. So yes, so follow Tracy on Twitter, the Fantasy Football Podcast, Gridiron Gal, as well. Share, like it, all those things.
Please, yes.
Yeah, fantasy football, battle of the sexes, all that. So follow, share,
along.
Yeah, follow along her journey as well. So thanks again. I really appreciate it. And you can follow me on all those social media platforms.
Yes, he's wonderful.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I always say The Real Deal Courtney Hart. Google that. You follow it on because it's all over Instagram, Facebook, Twitter as well. Yep. I'm active on all those platforms as well. So thank you again. I really appreciate it. And
you're welcome.
Thank you. Enjoy the weekend. And until next time, we'll talk to you guys later. And that's a wrap for the show.